Hi, do you remember your New Year's resolution from 2015? If you're like many people, you may not. And if you do, you're full of guilt and shoulda, woulda, couldas. Why is that? So many people create their New Year's resolutions and then kind of forget about them by end of January, February. I remember when I belonged to a gym for several years. Every January, all the equipment was so full, there was no space to do any workouts or free weights. And I always used to just think, patience, it'll be back to normal by February. And sure enough, by the end of January, it was lightening up. And by February, it was pretty much back to normal. There's a reason why New Year's resolutions don't always pan out. And I'll tell you more in a minute. My name is Laurie Zerga. If you're here, you've heard about the Dream You 2016. So why is it? Well, when we think in images. If I say to you, think about your bedroom, do you think about the word bedroom? Probably not. If you're like most people, you're right away imagining your bedroom as you last left it. The bed maybe is unmade, or maybe it's made. Might be a pair of shoes on the floor, a book on your nightstand. You're thinking about it, you think of it as an image. So when we define our resolutions or even our goals as action items or kind of abstract things, it makes it a little more challenging for us to get the feel of it and to really get excited about it. I'll never forget a friend of mine who said to me, I am holding the vision of wearing a dress and walking down the street and the skirt of the dress swooshing and grazing my supple calves that are fit and muscle toned. Now that's an image, and that's a state of being that she's imagining rather than a diet, losing so many calories, or exercise. If you can take it to an image, that's a big first step. Maybe you're imagining being healthy enough to climb a mountain and be able to envision that beautiful view from the top with the wind, the breeze blowing against you, and the scent of pine needles as you gaze out over a beautiful green valley. It's much more easier to have that as an image for the reason that you want to feel healthy and fit. So that's the first step. So we'll be envisioning, that's just a hint. We get deeper into it, obviously, than that. But we can live 1 year 20 times, where each year kind of mushes and merges into the others. Other than maybe milestones. If you have children, it's easier to have milestones and remember. I know for me, I remember, oh, that happened in that year. I remember my daughter was 7, or she was 5, or she was 10. You can kind of remember and track based on children sometimes, but otherwise it's milestones. You might have a marriage, a death of a family member, a job change, or something like that. But otherwise, things can stay pretty much the same, and life can pull you, or you can lead life. So by having a bigger image, a bigger vision of what you want, can really make a difference on those goals that you set. And you can start to live each year as a new, different year. So that can be really exciting. So let me tell you a little bit more. So each image and vision and dream, I love to ensure that your whole life is integrated into it. Your health, your relationships, your vocation, whether you work for a company or a corporation, or whether you run your own business. That's your vocation. Your time, money management, and you might have spirituality, community service, things like that, integrated into your dream. From there, you can start to define steps that you can take. You can take a step towards your dream. And it makes a whole lot of difference if you're defining goals that are moving towards a bigger vision than just a goal for a goal for a goal. And many of us attain our goals, but we still sometimes feel a little unfulfilled or like something's missing. Well, if you make it part of a bigger vision, you can take steps towards it. And as you take a step, you can test the waters and see, is this really what I want? You can make corrections and adjustments. Ooh, I really meant this, or I really meant that. But if you have that dream off there somewhere someday, you'll never know that part of it. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So I would love you to join me. And if at any time you want to just click the button below and go ahead and register, go for it. If you want to hear more, here's a few details. It's going to be in Petaluma, California, Sonoma County. We'll have 2 days together where you can network and really envision your dream and define actions. There'll be special guest speakers that will bring you information in the areas of expertise that I've described. Health and well-being, your relationships, your vocation, your time, money management, spirituality. And these guests specialize in body movement, some in healing, some in practical business or relationship specialties that can help you to really think about what is that next step and provide amazing content. The attendees that are signed up so far, oh my gosh, they're amazing, like you are. And to integrate and network with various men and women who are heart-centered and really want change in the world, to bring their authentic self out and to be living their dreams. If we all live our dreams, wouldn't life be so much more amazing? I've said it in Sonoma County, partly because I live in Sonoma County, but partly because it's such it's an agriculture area, there's wine tasting, and if you have traditional weekends, you might like to take Sunday as an extra day for yourself to explore. It's really amazing, beautiful, beautiful area of our country. So the value for that, before I tell you the value, I just want to say that I have been in consulting with small businesses for a while, small to medium-sized businesses, and I've charged up to $60,000 to get really inside the business and really dig in and work the inner game and the business systems. And I'm not going to be charging that, obviously. We're not even talking about that. What we are talking about is standing up for yourself. And money can be real. I'm not going to be charging you the value of not $597, which is the value for the 2 days. Because I really want you to get this information, and I want you to embrace it and come away with a new normal. So the special rate is $397. Now let me tell you, before you say yes or no, if you feel called, click the button. I'd love you to register. Now let me tell you a little bit more about it. There's virtual training, and the reason that I have virtual training, it's 6 weeks included as a bonus. The value is $197. And from before the event, you'll get some calls to kind of get your creative juices flowing. And then after the event, there'll be additional calls. These are considered accountability. I don't like it when there's just 2 days, you feel really good, you're all uplifted, and then you go back to normal. Well, let's define a new normal, and let's put calls together so that you can make sure to sustain it longer than the two days of the event where the energy is high. But let's help you sustain it. So that's the first bonus. And before I tell you the second bonus, let me tell you about one of my clients that I coached and how powerful this work is. When I started coaching her, she hated her job. It was very hierarchical. There was a pecking order, if you will, and she was on the low end of the totem pole. And not only that, she felt like her coworkers were defensive and not very collaborative. So we started to talk about these things, about how important it is to really envision the relationships you'd love and what else would you love and what else would you love. Well, she started to define how she wanted her relationships at work to be. And then she started saying, well, I'd really like to have more income because I'd love to be able to move to a new area that I like better, that it's more fun and more social, and I have friends that live there, and I want to be able to go on backpacking trips and take cross-country trips or go out of the country and explore. And I want to be able to afford that and be comfortable and not be struggling about the money all the time. So I really need to have a bigger salary. And I would love to be able to have benefits. So the first step after the dreaming was to start to look at how she could change and shift the way she brought herself to her current job. You see, it's not necessarily about quit your job and put yourself in financial risk and not feel secure. It's about looking for ways that you can move yourself forward. So she started with shifting the way she brought herself to work. And it started to be a little bit more fun. And there's more to this story, but if you come to the event, I'll probably tell it again in more detail. And then the second part was that she got a phone call out of the blue from a colleague that knew her work and said, you know what? There's a job opening where I am, and I think it would be perfect for you. Why don't you apply? So she did end up applying, and she doubled her salary with benefits. She's been able to do the backpacking trip. She's done a cross-country trip. She's moved to that neighborhood she envisioned. and she found an apartment that she could afford no problem. So, what are your dreams and how can you step into them? So let me tell you about this. So please click the button below and register if you'd like. And if you need more information, let me tell you about the second bonus. So the second bonus is an accountability partner. And I'd love to have you bring an accountability partner. And the reason I do that is that you can come to the event with somebody and you both receive the same frame of reference and languaging to discuss how to envision your dream and how to take actions towards it. And so you can set up yourself for accountability for the remainder of the year as well. So how amazing would that be? And some of you might want to bring a life partner. I have a lot of my clients who say, when can I bring my husband? When can I bring my partner or a business partner? This is the perfect time to do that. Doesn't matter whether you're male or female, the process of envisioning your dream and taking actions are amazing. So, what's the total value of all this? You can see the special guests on the side, and you can do research on them. There's also some testimonials on the side. So click the button below. So the full value for 2 guests, which are valued at $597 each, and the virtual training is $197. So the total for the 3 things is $1,194. And the special offer for this round is $397. And I would love you to click the button below and register. Now, some of you may be asking about the return on investment. Well, the return on investment, I can't guarantee that. That depends on your action. What I can tell you to think about is the cost of inaction. When we don't act on things and let life lead us, it can be so much more stressful. And so you layer stress upon stress upon stress, which can lead to disease. And what does that cost you? A divorce, a breakup of a business partnership. Those things can cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. And we're talking about a small investment here in yourself. Aren't you worth it? And let me talk about one more thing about cost of inaction. Cost of inaction. So let's just say that you make $5,000 a month and you feel your potential is $10,000 a month. Well, if you don't take action, for sure, your income will be $5,000 a month, right? Now, if you define action and take steps, you have the potential to earn that extra $5,000 difference to get you to the $10,000. So, you know, if you don't get started on something, that it costs you $5,000 every month. The $5,000 difference to the $10,000 potential per month or more. So, click the button below. It's $397, and if you're in the early bird special, it's only $197. That is the value of just the virtual training. So please click the button now. I would love to have you join my co-hosts and special guests to have a lovely 2 days plus the virtual training and bring along a partner with yourself. Click the button. Don't forget. Have a great day.